Dennis and Gordy are looking at mainland colleges. As Higgins' drug-fueled doppelganger later noted, the new client Josie attracted him at precisely the appropriate time to take her case. Josie was searching for explanations, since she couldn't accept that her boyfriend Otis had killed himself. Juliet was upset with Thomas because, in her eyes, he hadn't taken the threat posed by the kill squad seriously enough. Long before she took on this most current case, Juliet Higgins experienced nightmares in episode 9. Magnum was frequently the subject of the nightmares. Before they started dating, the two of them were longtime friends, and now she fears losing him. She cherishes him dearly. He has won her heart. He has feelings for her. Despite the fact that they both had engaged in risky behavior and were leading dangerous lives as private investigators, they were incredibly happy together. For their cases, they frequently needed to go undercover. To obtain justice, they participate in gang warfare and human trafficking. So Juliet has cause for concern about him. She made a mistake by pushing him away. She started having nightmares of him violently passing away. She then used it as justification to put some distance between herself and Magnum, since she secretly feared losing him and felt that would be unfair to him. He didn't understand why she was so irritable. He had no idea why Juliet had abruptly stopped listening to him after they had been talking about everything. Magnum made an effort to get her opinion. He was instructed to deal with Detective Childs after she ignored his worries. Detective Childs called Magnum on his behalf. When the detective learned about their prank involving Louis Peel, he immediately demanded to know everything. Magnum made an effort to tell him that getting involved himself would be risky. He didn't care though. The detective has never fled a confrontation. Magnum informed him of Oliver Kane because he was not going to start right away. Kane was pursuing Magnum and his companions with the help of a gang of ex-military personnel. Recently, he was sent to a black site. Even though he was offline, Magnum still had concerns for him. Magnum told Detective Childs Kane's name. It was up to the detective to find out whatever he could about Kane and Magnum. After Juliet started being kind to him again, made the decision to aid her. A widow in pain was Juliet's client. Josie's partner had passed away. She was the one who found him, and it appeared as though he had committed suicide. He was discovered by himself in his garage, the engine running. HPD classified it as a suicide. Only Josie was asking queries. She believed that something happened at work to prompt Otis to commit suicide because she never once saw it coming. Josie hired Juliet because she was interested in learning the truth. Was Otis' suicide a result of his depression? Or did he commit suicide as a result of something at work? She was curious as to what had caused him to act as he did. She didn't notice any indications in his family life. She reasoned that he must have been drawn to it by his professional life. After allegedly having a rough day at work, she started to notice a change in his behavior. Otis worked as an orderly at a mental health facility. Juliet agreed to look into it because Josie only wanted to know if something had happened at work. Josie's grief for losing someone she cared about was evident to Juliet. It made her realize that she was treating Magnum unfairly. She later expressed regret to him and asked for his assistance in this matter. At the hospital, Juliet was going to pose as a patient. She was posing as the brand new therapist. She took care to mimic an American accent so that just one of the patients could detect her deception. Every day, Becca watches a lot of House MD. She properly perceived Juliet's speech because she was aware that the primary doctor used harsh R's to disguise the fact that he was British. Juliet acknowledged that she was investigating Otis's passing. In her mind, Becca exchanged one truth for another. She informed Juliet that Otis had no business being in the office where they kept all the medications when she saw him leaving. He wasn't a nurse, either. He had to maintain order among the patients. Juliet decided to look through the patient's records. One patient wasn't supposed to be there, she discovered. Stephen is his name. After his partner received a big payoff for selling their business, Stephen decided to get help. So the partner drugged him to make him appear insane. Stephen didn't actually have any health issues, simply maintaining Stephen's commitment to keep all the money. Stephen's former partner also paid one of the nurses to keep Stephen drugged. The same nurse discovered Juliet was investigating Otis's passing. Then she gave Juliet a medication. When in fact, she helped Juliet understand the meaning behind the dreams. She had plans to kill her. In her dreams, she sees Magnum bleeding out in her hands covered in blood. But it's never Magnum's blood. They belong to Richard. Because Juliet feels responsible for his passing, she worried that Magnum would experience the same fate. At the same time that Magnum saved Juliet, Juliet came to the realization. He kept Juliet alive. They detained the nurse after she confessed to killing Otis in order to keep her paycheck coming in. Additionally detained was the business partner. Stephen's medicine was stopped, and he was now living with his family. Additionally, Juliet and Magnum were now finally working things out. He was aiding her in coping with her loss. However, Gordon was bringing his kid to the mainland to look at colleges. On one of these excursions, a racist attacked them in a bar. Only after the racist was arrested did Gordo's son consider returning to Hawaii to attend college. But Gordon urged him to ignore his fears and follow his heart. And a home explosive killed Detective Childs. He was shot, and the individuals responsible have finally been located.